Imagine for a moment a world where every grand promise of stability, prosperity, and financial freedom seems to dissolve for the ordinary person, leaving them burdened, their wealth quietly eroded. Forget the glink of steel or the roar of cannons. History whispers a far more insidious truth. The most potent weapon in any ruler's arsenal isn't brute force, but something far quieter, more pervasive, the very money in your pocket. Governments don't need an army to control you. They master the art of economic manipulation. And here's the truly shocking part. The sophisticated financial sleight of hand they employ today are, at their core, the very same ancient tricks, simply dressed in modern language. Let's peel back the layers and begin with the oldest, most reliable tool of economic control: inflation. When a government habitually spends beyond its means, it faces an inescapable crossroads. The honest path? Confront the public with the uncomfortable truth and demand higher taxes, a move almost guaranteed to be political suicide. Or the stealthier, more insidious path: quietly, subtly reduce the intrinsic value of the money its citizens already hold. This is where the magic, or rather, the malice, happens. Ancient Rome, a civilization often lauded for its innovations, perfected this dark art. In the tumultuous 3rd century, emperors, facing ever-growing expenses and diminishing returns, began a systematic, almost imperceptible, debasement of the denarius. What was once a beacon of nearly pure silver gradually transformed into a base copper disc, thinly coated with a deceptive silver sheen. The imperial pronouncements pretended nothing had changed, yet everyone else felt the crushing weight. Savings evaporated, prices for basic necessities skyrocketed, and the average citizen's wages lagged hopelessly behind. It was the perfect, silent tax, a transfer of wealth from the many to the few, without a single sword drawn. And astonishingly, this exact mechanism persists today, though the imperial mints have been replaced by the velvet-gloved hands of central banks. The actors change, but the script remains chillingly similar. The Middle Ages, ever inventive in its forms of power, added a new, equally coercive flavor to this economic game: forced loans. Kings across England, France, and Spain, perpetually in need of funds for their endless wars or lavish courts, would request substantial sums from their wealthiest merchants and noblemen. Understand this: these were loans in name only. Refusal was not an option. It invited swift, often brutal repercussions: fines, confiscation, imprisonment, or far worse. And repayment? If it ever materialized, it was typically in devalued, debased coinage, completing the cycle of extraction. On the surface, it was cloaked in the noble garb of patriotism, but beneath that thin veneer lay pure, unadulterated coercion. By the 17th century, governments had stumbled upon an even more elegant, systemic trick: the weaponization of finance itself. When Britain established the Bank of England in 1694, its purpose wasn't philanthropic. Its true raison d'etre was to fund endless wars. Wealthy investors eagerly snapped up government bonds, lured by guaranteed interest payments. But pause and consider: who ultimately footed the bill for those guaranteed returns? It wasn't the elite bondholders, it was the ordinary populace, through insidious duties levied on essential goods like salt, beer, and cloth, the very fabric of daily life. The rich lent the money to the state, the poor were compelled to pay them back. This foundational pattern, a subtle transfer of wealth and risk, continues to define the intricate architecture of our global financial system even now. Fast forward to our modern world, and while the tools appear more polished, the fundamental dynamics remain unchanged. Observe deficit spending, the pervasive reality of massive government debt. Politicians grandly promise sprawling infrastructure projects and expansive social programs, yet a disproportionate share of that capital frequently flows into the coffers of defense contractors, large corporations, and global banks. when the inevitable bill comes due, governments rarely choose to trim the lavish expenditures at the top. Instead, they resort to familiar tactics, raising taxes on the middle and working classes, inflating the currency, or slashing essential benefits. The debt is framed as being for the people, yet the crushing burden falls squarely on their shoulders, while the substantial profits accrue to the bondholders. Then consider the bailouts. In 2008, a wave of reckless, irresponsible behavior by major banks brought the entire global economy to the brink of collapse. Instead of allowing the natural consequences of failure to unfold, governments, armed with taxpayer money, rushed to their rescue. The public was forced to absorb the monumental losses, while the very same banks, deemed too big to fail, emerged from the crisis not humbled, but larger and richer than before. This is the stark reality of privatized gains and socialized losses, an ancient trick, devastatingly reborn. Even our revered pension systems often mask a profound financial illusion. People diligently contribute to government retirement schemes for decades, holding a comforting belief that their hard-earned money is safely secured. Yet in countless nations, governments immediately spend those contributions, replacing them with mere IOUs, promises that future generations of taxpayers will somehow cover the bill. It's a generational Ponzi scheme, shrouded in official, reassuring language. And now, we arrive at the modern masterpiece of economic manipulation, quantitative easing. This polite, academic-sounding phrase is quite simply a sophisticated euphemism for creating money out of nothing. Central banks, in recent times, have conjured trillions of units of currency, using them to buy government bonds and mortgage-backed securities. The predictable outcome? Asset prices, stocks, real estate, bonds have soared to unprecedented heights. But who owns the vast majority of these assets? The already wealthy. Everyone else? They're left grappling with relentlessly rising prices, distorted markets, and a silently shrinking purchasing power. Inflation, therefore, becomes the ultimate stealth tax, invisible, pervasive, and utterly devastating. Governments secretly adore it because it effortlessly reduces the real value of their colossal debts. Citizens, however, bear the brunt as their stagnant wages never quite catch up, trapped in a perpetual race against rising costs. But perhaps the most powerful trick of all, the ultimate camouflage, is complexity itself. Thousands upon thousands of pages of convoluted tax laws, intricate financial instruments that even seasoned experts struggle to fully comprehend. Government budgets swollen with impenetrable jargon and obfuscating figures. Complexity breeds opacity. When you cannot possibly follow the intricate dance of money, when the system becomes too convoluted to grasp, you are effectively disarmed. You cannot fight what you cannot understand. And this, my friends, is precisely why these economic tricks relentlessly resurface across the annals of history, from the Roman Empire to medieval Europe, through the vast expanse of the British Empire, and into the hyper-modern United States. Different eras, different currencies, but the same fundamental mechanisms of control and extraction. Most people never truly escape this trap because, tragically, they never even realize the trap exists. They accept inflation as a natural economic phenomenon. They view government debt as an unavoidable necessity. Bailouts are perceived as acts of economic mercy. And regulations? They're seen as vital protections. But history, if you listen closely, tells a profoundly different story. If you truly wish to protect your hard-earned wealth, your future, your freedom, you must first recognize these timeless tricks. Cultivate and build your wealth intelligently, outside the system's most dangerous traps. Question every financial announcement, every government promise, with a healthy dose of skepticism. And always remember this: financial education is not just knowledge, it is, in fact, your most potent form of resistance. If this perspective has resonated with you, if it's illuminated a corner of history you hadn't considered, then please hit that subscribe button. Here at Historic Money Map, we are dedicated to exposing the profound, often hidden economic patterns that have shaped civilizations for thousands of years. We delve deep so you can see clearly. See you in the next one.